Hello hunters, I'm the SurvivalVis, and welcome to our next expedition series for the Hunter Classic on the channel, Piccabeen Bay Expeditions. So, we were back in Piccabeen Bay quite a while ago now, and we're coming forward and I want to change a few things up. So one thing I'm going to do is try to do the loadout before the video starts, to save some time there. And as you can see, we're going to go full crossbow heavy with this, well, at the start. I don't have a lot of weapons that are actually legally ethical for a lot of the animals on the map. Like the bantang and the water buffalo need very high caliber stuff. But the crossbow can handle every single thing with just these. So even if you don't have the reverse draw, just picking up like the 10 point, or I don't know if the compound bow works. I shouldn't actually say that without knowing for sure, but I know the crossbow arrows work for every animal, even the Magpie Goose if you were to try going after them. So we're going to head out from Cicada Lodge here, and probably try working our way up over this way. Kind of a sweep up there. I am thinking because the map... I'll have to see where you guys might think about the best spot to put down, like the tent for... as we're trying to handle this. Because from the looks of it, if we put it in the middle... yeah, maybe somewhere like around this middle area would be a good spot for it. That way we can go up north into this area easier, or south this area easier. It's hard to say. But we're going to basically just go on a line, kind of up through there like that. And see what we can get up there. I've also got, let me switch over the equipment-wise. We've got the Sambar deer scent, and we got the Rusa deer scent spray, because we don't really have collars that will work for them. And I also picked up the hog collar, and we'll see about putting a bit of advice I got from the Hirschfelden expeditions about where to try shooting the hogs with your weapons and that. I'm not going to take a second weapon, because again, I wasn't sure what would be the best one to really bring, so I figure, you know what? Let's just use the crossbow. It has the mix of archery, which I enjoy, but also a little bit more reliable and easier to... not as much skill required for being accurate with it if you have the scope. Yeah, so we're just going to go on a sweep along there. I do have water bottle, first aid kit packed in case I need, so we'll just go and see what we can get. I do also have the ground line, as you guys saw, so... we're probably going to try using that a bit more, try the scent sprays out, see what we can bring in. But Piccabeen Bay is going to definitely be pretty interesting for our expedition series. I am thinking I may do a Magpie Goose setup on the map too, try to see how much GM I have and if I can afford it. But I would like to try to do that with this map if I can. And just try to get a lot more animals and stuff that we didn't really get to see on the first outings. The only animal that's really a carryover for this map is the feral hogs or the wild boars, but we'll have to see. Like, because of archery, you have to have a little bit more insight into how the weapon aims, distances, stuff like that. But with a crossbow, it's probably going to be a bit more forgiving, so I'll probably be able to do a little bit more better performance or hunt-wise using that. But yeah, we should be good to enjoy full, I'm guessing 10 episodes on this one. Considering Hirschfelden, we got the full 10. I think every expedition series 10 is a good number to go for. Anything I am looking for in particular would probably be the bantang, although, truthfully, I don't know if we actually even got any sambar or roos deer on, like, some of our outings, so it would be nice to get more of those. Piccabeen Bay was a little bit of a weird one for, it's like, reserve tours, because I'm trying to remember what I did. I think I started here, went up, kind of got in the marsh area, and then was along the river the other way. So there's a lot of the map I didn't actually go around to see. So this time we'll go more into the thick of it, try using the blind setup, use more scents to lure stuff in, and see how that works out. It actually did... it did kind of work on Timbergold trails, although one difference was we did have the collars to go with the scents. So I don't know if we'll be able to do that per se. So I think just relying on the sense lures might be a little bit more tricky for us to just kind of get some things in at times. But we'll see. I could be completely mistaken and I'll actually be better than I think I am. It's rare, but it happens. The channel's had a few instances like that. Yeah, for now we basically just gotta enjoy a little bit of a hike and wait and listen out for anything that we might hear. I don't think I'll really be able to have good visibility out, although binoculars, yeah, I got the regular binoculars, saw it into 4. I'm going to use the rangefinder for a little bit to start, just to get my bearings, because one thing's with the reverse draw crossbow, ooh, is every dot is basically 20 meter, then 40 meter, 60, 80 for like gauging your distance and aiming. Oh shoot, I took too long and I don't even know where that call came from now. Well, that's on me. I tried to explain myself and I kind of screw myself over in other regards. That basically seems just like a standard for the channel at this point. Well, hopefully we'll hear that making some noise again, or maybe even as we're going we'll actually be able to see it. I will have to use the scent eliminator in a little bit, but I think I'd prefer to figure out like exactly where I've got to be looking first. I would probably guess it'd be somewhere ahead of us in this thick stuff, more so than like towards the beach. But you never know. It can be hard just trying to pick out where things can be to start. And then I will have to keep an eye for, as long as we're out, there is probably going to be like the heat haze effect that'll eventually play in. I do have the water bottles packed, we'll just switch one out and chase that off. And it does seem, as long as you don't fully use up the water bottle, because it does have 3 charges or 3 uses in it, it seems to refill every hunt. So that's at least a nice means of a bit of equipment that keeps resupplying itself. I don't know if it's meant to or not, but at this case, I'll just appreciate that it does. But I'm not sure where that call came from. I mean, Actually, I don't even know what species it was that made the call, because the 2 deer are... I think they kind of look fairly similar, and if I don't exactly want to try using up the scent sprays too quick, although a nice thing is you get an awful lot of scent sprays for every one you pick up. I think it's like 50 per, purchase, so you're going to have a lot of mileage in them. That's one thing I do have to hand it, where although there's a lot of, trying to buy equipment and consumables from the store, they do have a lot of charges that does offset it, so it feels a lot better. You actually feel you're buying a lot for that little purchase. There we go. Okay, so we got rooster deer up ahead. So I'm going to give myself a spurt of the scent eliminator. And that was Rusa. So that's Sandbar right now. I want to switch that out. Now, I wonder if... Yeah, let me put it there. Just because I feel like this might be one of the few spots where we might have a somewhat decent visibility from. Now, I don't know the range on this either. That's one of the things that can be a little tricky with using the blind setup and scent lures, is not entirely knowing if you set up too far out of their detected range, so that way they won't be called in at all, or you're too close and setting up the blind spooks them off. That's one thing. I think I was just getting stupidly lucky a lot with Timber Gold Trails with how often I was putting the blind down and nothing seemed to be startled out of the area. Well, for now, it's basically just we gotta wait and see. I think the Rusa deer do have, an actual vocal caller, but the other species doesn't. I might actually have that confused. It's the Samba that have the caller, the Rusa don't, what have you. I figure just for the sake of things and to save some GM, because I might be trying the bird setups and that in the future soon, save the GM and let's just try scent lures for a while. Yeah, I don't know how far off that is. Oh, actually, I see. Oh, Lord, that looks like a mega herd of females. You know, what I could do just to try to pull them in a bit better, is just come out here, give a spurt. This might be a smarter strategy. Yeah, a little spritz there. That way, if they're drawn to that spot, they're not drawn immediately to the blind, so I might have a little bit of time to actually scope out everything coming in and pick out which animal I'm after. Although if this is a mega herd of like all the females, there might not be any I'm actually trying to go for per se. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the way back, so this is the way I came from. So we'll just have to wait and see. I think they should be close enough to get, like, lured in by that. But this is the... Again, this is the type of hunting that I don't know if... That'd be hard to do videos on unless you can give a lot of time for it. Because it's just a lot of sit, wait, and wait, and wait. It's not quite the act of slowly seeing them coming in, working them a bit more, stalking towards them. This is the method where you gotta have faith, and that can be hard at times. I've seen them all up there. If they do come in, I don't know if I'll actually be able to see them until they're basically right on us. I do want to keep my ears open just because with the scent lures, they could come in from any direction, depending on where they are. I'll give it just a few minutes and see. I did also disable the flock sounds, so that's why you don't hear like as many wing flaps or duck calls or stuff like that. Just because if you are trying to focus on them, they can be a little a nuisance as you're trying to listen out for other animals, like trying to hear footsteps or calls or what have you. So that's why it's a little bit more silent as we're in our stand right here. Or, well, technically blind. I really thought that would have brought them in. Let me check. Does it actually say if there's an effective range on it or not? Just 20 in-game minutes. That's actually not a lot of time when I think about it, because I think the game runs at 2 times your regular, like, speed. So that basically means in 10 minutes the scent wears off. Unfortunately, I haven't heard any other calls, haven't seen any more movement. Yeah, I think we'll have to carry on. That's going to be one of the parts about Piccabeen that's going to probably be quite the test, is getting used to how scent lure hunting will work. Because unless you're willing to spend the funds for the vocal caller, majority of animals don't have anything they're lured in by. I'm only lucky that, again, the Samba and the Rusa... Sambar or Samba? Can't remember, they're pretty close. But those 2 deer are the only... Well, those and the hogs are the only things that kind of have the scent lure. They'll bring them in. Yeah, I do not hear anything and I don't see anything, so I'm going to Dismantle the blind and carry on. I'm not sure what I did so well in Timber Gold that I was able to get, like, so much brought in so easily. I think it might have been just, like, a combination of using the calls and the scent for it. Okay, you know what? What if I try this without the ground line? Maybe I'll try that. See if I can get within a good distance. Place down the lure. And then try to work a little bit away from it. Oh, okay, I see movement, so they are... let me check and see what that's saying for, like... I feel like this should be in range to be able to, like, bring them in. And I'm fairly sure that was Roosa Deer that the call was just from. I don't know, I have to aim to the ground, or... Okay, let's put that down there. We'll bring this out. You know what? Maybe even the wind will have an impact, because it is a scent lure. Yeah, so I'll push that there. I'm not going to put the blind up. I'm just going to completely stay ducked down and low. And we'll see if maybe that closer proximity is enough to bring them in. But if the scent can get carried on the wind, I wonder if that means if something's upwind of it, it won't pick it up at all. I never thought about that impacting it. And I wouldn't actually put it past the game to have that as a thing, because... that's how the Hunter Classic really differentiates itself from Called Wild, is it's a much more realistic and hardcore simulator for hunting. So it might be if you want your most optimal results using the lures, you have to figure out the wind direction and figure out where you want to place that so that way it actually does get carried to the animals. I might be going a little, like, assuming too much with it, but I feel like that could be... Again, it feels like it would fit for what the Hunter Classic is. Unfortunately, I still don't see them, like, moving down to come investigate like I was hoping. Oh, hang on, I think we got somebody up there. Maybe not. I thought I saw... Is it just how that trunk... Yeah, I guess it's just how that one bush is there. I thought that was, like, the back end of one. Our first animal is proven to be quite tricky just to try to get a visual of. Like, it hasn't seemed to have been drawn in by the scent lure at all. It has made... Well, there have been a few calls out, but of course I can't really tell if they're male or female ones. My tracking skill is way too low for that point yet. Okay, that's a female one. Of course. Now they wanted to come down that way, but I think it was just a bunch of females altogether. I don't know if they were almost like coded to not be able to come down, or maybe... We have seen it in the game before, where if the male gets stuck, or like the lead animal gets stuck somewhere, all of the others won't move around or will kind of circle that one until that one's unstuck. Now, I don't know if that is what would have happened, but I can't say without having the visual of it. It just does seem a little weird that, like how we had seen them through binoculars, they didn't really want to be coming in closer at all. Well, we'll just have to keep going and see if we get any other attempts or things kind of sounding out. Nobody said this kind of hunting was going to be easy. But if I can figure this out, that's really going to help into... Okay, so I guess I spotted those two that I did see were the ones that have made a lot of tracks around here. If I can figure out how the scent lure hunting can work, that's going to be a very powerful tool going forward in a lot of the other expeditions. Not that we really have too many left to go, but just in general too for the Hunter Classic. This might be a case where this is going to be one of our first premiere episodes for an expedition series without bagging anything. I'd hate for that to happen, but it might, just with how luck it might be going for us. It might even be easier trying to go after one of the bantangs more in the middle. And, you know what? I might actually just jog from here. Like, until I hear calls or anything to clue me in, I don't think I'm going to have much luck visually trying to spot them. Like, any species on this map. Unless I was, like, following the river... Oh. What's going on with you? You almost seem like you're buggy. Like, I was not expecting to run up to her, or the fact that she, like, didn't hear me. What is going on here? I think she is bugged. It looks like the behavior might be broken. I mean, yeah, she should have picked us up a number of steps ago. What is going on with you? You gonna run? No, you are absolutely bugged. I mean, this right now just kind of feels like a put her out of her misery sort of situation. Like, that is weird, but that's what I'm talking about, where, like, if an animal gets stuck, it causes some weird behavior that you easily notice around it. Yeah, I'm just going to resume game. Oh, well, there's an achievement unlock, our first Rusa. Not how I wanted our first one to be got. That goes to show that I didn't actually do that good on our first expedition, or our first reserve tour peaks of this map. But yeah, that's where the game, if something goes wrong, it just feels so weird and out of it because of normally how polished the game can be. So I do think that is what happened, is back when I was trying to get those lured in, they might have been affected by the scent lure, but because they were more tied to following a specific animal of their group, and that got stuck, they wouldn't move out of the area. Oh, was that just maybe a bug that I walked into or something? Okay. But again, I'm going to just keep going for a run, see if we can get any other calls, and see if we can have things go a little bit more how I hope they will. But yeah, that's one of the first times I think I've ever had an animal, like, have zero detection ability. and it was certainly bugged to just that straight line, walking right into that stump, not trying to avoid it or anything. It is bizarre when the Matrix breaks down and you see, like, reality unfolding a bit. Well, there's some interesting sounds going out. Nothing hunting animal-wise, but sounds like a few different bird species are that... No, actually, speaking of... Yeah, I see there are a nice few birds flying around there. Okay. I probably shouldn't, but you know what? I do have the hog scent collar, so let me try practicing using scent lures and see. Now, hogs usually don't get stuck too badly that, like, you have issues with them. So we'll see if maybe I can bring these ones in and get an idea of, like, how far ranging these scent lures work. I think they all have the same distance they apply, it's just each specific one is tied more to a specific animal. So we'll see if this does bring, or start to, like, draw the hogs out towards us. I should have definitely put down a marker for where that call came from. No, actually, I think I can still. I think I was right about there. Oh, I do see movement. So that's within 200. See, I don't know if it's 200 meters is like the max radius the lure can be picked up from. There's some reading I probably should do from the Hunter Classics wiki about, like, the information. We did see at least a hog on the move. Now, I can't exactly say it seemed like it was coming in towards us, but it was movement. So we'll just keep a watch in that direction and see. Yeah, I don't really see anything like approaching coming out of the woodwork there. Well, I'll try just approaching slowly. Just in case maybe with its wee little piggy legs it takes a while to walk. Yeah, no, I'm not seeing any more movement and not seeing it like it's coming out towards us. So I wonder if that was too far away for the lure to be picked up, although... Yeah, I guess I'm just going to keep going. It does seem like the scent lures are very finicky for how they want to work. Oh, there's roosa deer tracks. And this is probably just more roosa, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. We are still following along the arrow path, alright, but... Yeah, it's not going how I'm hoping the first episode would have, but I guess this is a way to show that it's not always... that's a different one. You know what? I'm gonna try again and see, because this is the hog scent. See if this will bring it in. Because I feel like I thought it would have been... The scent doesn't have as high of a chance of attraction, but affects a longer radius. Whereas the caller is a higher chance, but lower radius. Or maybe I've got them backwards. I don't really know at this point. All I do know is it's not going the greatest for us, is it? But we can always see just about trying to get this hog here and putting a different shooting method a bit into practice. I'm trying to remember who suggested it. I think it was A2 Tomala, where instead of trying to go for like the lungs or heart on hogs or boars, it's sometimes easier, or oftentimes easier, going for the brain shots. Because as they're coming in, they've got their heads low. They usually become an easier target to aim for than trying for like the side. Even this, I thought I might have seen movement of, like, it coming in from somewhere. That's definitely not a hog. That's... Okay, actually, you know what? Let's just see what we can get, because this is a rusa. It's supposedly very close. That should get affected by the scent spray. Now let's see if maybe we can actually snag a proper male for our first episode. Would be nice to get a stag or a buck for, again, just something to say we've accomplished something this episode besides taking a bug out of its misery, really. But I also don't know if that was a male or a female call. I really am not used to... Oh! Well, well, well. Looks like the game is going to smile on us a little bit. So that's a rusa. And what's it distance at right now? Saying 43, so it's within range for the reverse draw. I might just actually let it get in a bit closer if we can. Or just do that. One thing about this is, again, crossbow, you do have the little bit of archery with it being a bow-powered weapon, or string-powered weapon, sorry. But you also have a scope and a lot more precision with it than having to rely on skill. So let's go get our first male rusa deer. Even if he's a little guy, it's still an accomplishment. We actually got something done, and at least it did look like he got brought in by the scent lure. I just don't know if that means I have to be that close with every time I use it or not. Let's see. Pretty low, I'm guessing, if it's only 20 GM. Like, I don't... Oh, well, there's an objective met. And let's just bring him up a little bit to look at him. So he's certainly no competition winning deer, but he's at least something we can take and say we've had a successful first animal takedown on Piccabeen Bay. And with that, we are going to end this episode right here. Just give that a moment, and then we should be good. And we did make fairly good progress, so we should probably be able to get up here through next episode and kind of more towards swamp area. Jeez, the photo upload does take a little while, doesn't it? Come on. finish up so that way I can finish this episode off. And we got more hog calls. Okay. So thank you guys very much for joining me on this first episode of our Piccabeen Bay Expedition series. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give a like, and if you have any comments, tips, or tricks, be sure to comments right down below. It is probably going to be a little rough for the first few episodes as I'm trying to get my bearings using the scent lures, trying stuff out, relying more on tactics I don't normally or have not really used at all. So I do apologize about that, but hopefully with some time and practice, we'll see that develop and actually get some better grip with it. But until I do catch you in the next video, hunters and survivors, please remember, as always, to take care, stay alive, and happy hunting.